Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am finally back with my updated filing and prep routine that I promised you guys. In this video, I'll be covering everything I don't normally put in my videos, such as my prep, my acrylic application, and finished filing. So as you can see at the beginning of the video, I pushed back my cuticles and I did soak my nails off prior to filming this video. That's why you see that like kind of whitish film on them from the acetone. So after I push back my cuticles, I take my drill and I use the McCart drill, which I'll have everything that I use linked in the description box. But I take a 180 sanding band and then I kind of just use my drill on a low speed to remove any excess product and cuticle on the nail plate. You don't want any cuticle on your nail plate because that will cause lifting, so you want to make sure you get all of that off. And as always, you want to make sure that you're holding your drill bit parallel to your nail so that you don't cause any dents in your nail. As you could see, mine is lined up with my nail as I'm going across it. You don't want any dents or rings of fire, and you don't want to stay in the same place for too long, because if you do, obviously the drill will heat up on the nail and that's what causes the rings of fire. Usually after this step, I would go in and nip my cuticles, but I don't really have any excess cuticle because I do my nails a lot and I don't want to over nip them because you can get infections and stuff like that. So if I can show you guys that on a different day, I'll try to do that. So next I'm going in with these McCart nail tips, which I'll have these linked in the description box along with everything else. I use KDS nail glue to glue them on. When you're applying your nail tips, you want to make sure that they fit sidewall to sidewall. If they're too small, they're going to end up popping off. And if you find that you're like in between sizes, you can just file the sides a little bit to make them fit better. Mine fit pretty good, so I didn't have to do that. And my pinky is kind of short because it's broken, if you couldn't tell that. But yeah, I'll be double tipping these because they're a little bit shorter than I wanted. So I wanted to add just a little bit of length to them. So I'll be going in with a smaller tip because I'm going for a coffin shape. So typically if you want that coffin shape, you would go in with a smaller tip at the tip. And if you wanted a square, you would probably want to use like a wider one. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut the nail tips down. I did my other hand off camera, so I'm kind of just lining up the fingers to make sure that they're the same length. I usually make my pointer, middle, and ring finger the same length, the pinky slightly shorter, and the thumb just a little bit longer than the rest of the nails. Because I don't like the way it looks with a really short thumb. My tip cutter is broken, so I had to use this nail clipper. It doesn't really give you the neatest cut, but that's okay because I'll be going in with my hand file. So I don't really cut the sides of my nail tips because every time I do that, I seem to like make them really uneven and I end up having to take them off and put new tips on, and it's just like a big mess. So to take down some of the bulk, I go in with my drill with that same sanding band and I just like take down the sides and I kind of like start off by like going straight but like angling as I get toward the tip to get that like coffin shape, and then I go in and blend the tips. You're gonna want to blend your tips so that if you're doing like a clear nail design, you won't see that like harsh line. It will be just blended into your nail. I also go over the surface of the nail tip with the drill so that it has like a rough surface for the product to stick to better. And then after I do that, I'll be going in with my hand file. To get a nice crisp shape, you're going to want to start off by holding your file straight on the nail. I do that about 3 or 4 times on each side, and then I go ahead and angle my file to get the coffin shape. If you go in and angle your file the whole time, you're going to get like weird bowed shaped nails. Like the middle will be really thick and then the tip will be really skinny, and it's really not cute. I used to do that before I learned to do it the right way. It's just a matter of practicing and it takes time, but I finally came up with like a technique that I'm kind of like satisfied with, so I'm happy to show you guys this, and I hope you guys can learn something from this video. To file the tip of the nails, I just angle it and go straight up and down. Sometimes I'll go across. The thing about having double tips is that you need to be careful, because if you file too hard, that little piece will end up popping off, and believe me, it is a pain to try to get back on. You might as well just glue a whole new one on. Now I'm going in with Mia's Secret dehydrator. This part is really not necessary if you've already roughed up the surface of your nail like we did with the drill, but I just do it as like a precautionary thing to make sure that I don't get any lifting. I also use YoungAsko's protein bond, and one thing that I want to stress to you guys is that when you're applying the dehydrator and primer, apply it to your entire nail. I see a lot of nail techs, when they apply it to their client's nail, they just swipe like one little like swipe of the product over the nail, and it doesn't even cover the whole nail. You need to apply it to your entire nail, because that's where the product is going and that's where you want it to stick to. So now I'm going in with this orange jelly polish from my cart. Yes, you can encapsulate jelly polish. So I'm doing that, I'm painting them, and I'm going to cure this layer for 60 seconds. It was kind of tricky painting these double tips because like the polish kind of like pulled up at the bottom, so I kind of had to like brush it up a little bit and work with it, but I managed to get it work. Sometimes I go in with a thin layer of clear acrylic on my nails after I apply my dehydrator and primer. But the acrylic I'm using, this pink one right here by Jasmine Torres Nails, it's called Queen Pink, doesn't require you to put a thin layer of clear on your nails, so you kind of have to do your research with the products. It depends on what company it is. Some you do and some you don't. So for this one I'm not doing that because I don't have to. After I do that, well, first of all, I took the pink and I faded it down like an ombre into the jelly. I just place a bead by the cuticle and lightly fade it down just where the nail tip meets the natural nail. And then I'm going in with this glitter acrylic from Secret Nail Affair. It's called Bella. It's this really pretty orange butterfly glitter. I also wanted to add in that when you're applying the product, make sure you're applying it thin. These nails have glitter, so they need to be encapsulated, and you don't want to apply the product too thick at first because then you'll have a really bulky nail in the end after you encapsulate. As you can see, I'm picking up really small beads of the pink acrylic and just fading it down into the jelly color. I do the same with the glitter, just pick up really small beads at a time and just, you know, work it up the side of the nail. And the reason why I applied the jelly is because I just wanted like that little hint of orange in the background, so that's how you can achieve that look. And I'll let you guys just watch my application and I'll be back to encapsulate. Alright, so to encapsulate all of the nails, I always use Mia's Secret clear acrylic, and I'm using the clear to build up the rest of the nail and give it structure, since the first layer that I did was really thin, like I said before. I use the clear to build my apex and stuff like that. I always do like a 3-bead method. My first bead starts by the free edge, like right under the smile line. The second bead is right at the smile line, and the third bead is the cuticle bead. And when I do place my bead down, I keep manipulating it until it dries to keep my shape. As you can see, I pat the sides with the brush. To finish filing, I start by going in with this fine grit safety bit from this McCart drill bit set to debulk the nails. I have the link to these drill bits in the description box. They're really good if you guys were interested in them. But I start by going around the cuticle, and then I like work my way side to side down the nail. And sometimes I go like up and down on the nail. It depends on whatever you're comfortable with. You can do it either way. You always want to make sure that your sidewalls are really thin. That's how your nail should look. And you want that little hill, that's where the apex is supposed to be. And then as you get towards the end of the nail by the free edge, it should be a lot thinner. But I'm just using this bit to debulk the nails right now. I'm not really getting flush by the cuticle yet. I'll be showing you guys what I use to do that once I'm done debulking. And I do go under the nail with the drill as well to remove any excess nail tip or acrylic that might have got stuck under there.
Read about this or hear this? That you used to go up on Mulholland Drive and park
every night
and visualize seeing yourself as.
Yeah, I would visualize.
This is when you were broke and poor.
Right, having directors interested in me and people that I respected saying, I like your work or whatever that is, and I would visualize things coming to me that I wanted or whatever. Drive home and think, well, I do have these things. They're out there. I just don't have a hold of them yet, but they're out there. I wrote myself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and I gave myself 5 years, or 3 years maybe, and I dated it Thanksgiving 1995. Just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was going to make $10 million.
Next, I'm going in with the sanding band around the cuticle. I do this because it's kind of hard for me to get around the cuticle with the safety bit, and it's easier for me to get like nice and flush with this. And it's not really that like harsh on your nail. It's kind of gentle. You can't really cut yourself with the sanding band. I mean, you can, but I mean, it's gentler than like most other bits. After that, I go in with this cuticle bit just around the cuticle to get any excess acrylic that might have got stuck behind there, and just make everything look really nice and seamless. This cuticle bit is also from the McCart drill bit set that I was telling you guys about. And it's really good. I like it a lot. This was actually my first time using this one because I lost my other cuticle bit, but I really like it, and I really recommend it to you guys. And finally, to start shaping the nails, and I know some people do go in and start shaping up their nails first. I don't like doing that. I like debulking my nails and then shaping like as the final step, so I could get that really nice crisp shape. And I do just like we did in the beginning. I start by filing straight about 3 or 4 times on each side, and then I start doing the same thing on each side by angling the file, and then I just go over any like bumps I might have missed that I didn't get with the drill. With the hand file, I go underneath the nail with the hand file as well, and then I'll be just like buffing over the nails.